Week 8 is here. Georgia, Texas, Tennessee, Alabama. Let's get into it.
Whoa, he has trouble with the snap, and the ball is free. It's picked up by Michigan State's Jalen Watts-Jackson, and he scores on the last play of the game. Unbelievable.
35, 40, 45, 50, 45. There goes Davis. Oh, my God. Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran the missed field goal.
Okay, we're just going to jump right in. If you're new here, I pick every single top 25 team. I pick their game that week. I pick it against the spread. We keep my record overall since I've been doing the show 1 year, and the 2024 record as well. 83, 46, and 1. We're coming off our first losing week of the season. We were only one game below 500, 8 and 9 last week. I've regrouped. I feel like I figured out what went wrong with the gut last week, and I feel like the gut is on a better is in a better spot this week than it was last week. Okay, I feel like the gut is going to give us some good wins this week and some picks that you're probably thinking, Ian, why would you ever do that? Well, the gut is right. 83, 46, and 1. Hard to argue with the facts, ladies and gentlemen. We'll jump right in. The Navy midshipmen. If you follow the What If poll, my rankings, Navy's been in the top 25 for 3-4 weeks now. Okay, the AP just caught up, and we're just gonna go. We're going Navy minus 17. It's pretty easy. I'm not looking Charlotte's way at all in this one. The gut was Navy, Navy, Navy. Got to support the troops. Next one up. This game has sneaky snooze fest game of the weekend. Okay, and snooze fest and game of the weekend normally don't go together, okay? Now, I think this game's going to be highly entertaining to watch, but also a snooze fest. Now, that's an oxymoron. Highly entertaining snooze fest, okay? Highly entertaining snooze fest because I don't think they're going to move the ball a lot in this football game offensively for either team. I think both of these teams' defenses are their superior units, especially in Michigan's case. Look, we know exactly what Michigan has offensively. Literally nothing. Illinois, they're coming off of an overtime game against Purdue where they were up by 25 points halfway through the third quarter. And then all of a sudden they decided to not play football anymore and had to go to overtime to win that one. Okay, so not a great bounce back for Illinois. You got to play Michigan. Not a great scenario you're looking for if you're Illinois. However, the gut told me immediately, Illinois, we're taking the Fighting Illini. Why? I'm not sure. Look, it's 1 point. Either way, whichever team wins this one is the winner in this pick. Okay, I'm not getting any points. If I was getting 3, if it was the other way around, I was getting 3 for Michigan, probably the gut would have said Michigan because I'm starting to learn what my gut says. And that's how you do this. But the gut right now is Illinois +1 at home against the Michigan Wolverines. ECU at Army, another team that I've had in the top 25 for I think 2 weeks now, 2 or 3 weeks. The AP thinks Army's better than Navy. I think Navy's better than Army. We will see eventually. They could play 2 times this season. But either way, Army minus 17. Eastern Carolina, sorry, you have no chance in this one. No chance against the Army. Okay, we're going against the U.S. Army. We think some pirates are going to take us down. No. Army, all day, every day. Support the troops. We already told you about Michigan, Illinois +1. SMU minus 14.5 at the Trees. And some of you aren't visual people. You're listening on podcasts or you just have the YouTube show on in the background. That's awesome as well. The Trees are the Stanford Cardinal. I'm still, again, not entirely sure why they're the Stanford Cardinal and their mascot's a tree. We will never know. We will never know. Bunch of smart people over there at that university, book smart, but we'll never know why they're the Stanford Cardinal. It could probably be a quick Google search, but I'm not going to do that because I like my mind to wander, okay? Anyways, SMU. If you know where SMU is, that's in Dallas, Texas. Where's Stanford? California. Not sure what city. Doesn't matter. SMU minus 14.5. Coming off of a bye. They are the team that I thought they were going to be preseason right now. They are rolling. Jennings, quarterback. Not the quarterback I thought they would have. SMU, that is. I thought it would be Preston Stone. He sucked. So they went to their backup, and he has lit the world on fire. And SMU is firing offensively, defensively, special teamsily. It doesn't matter. Stanford, you got no chance in this one, okay? Stanford, I'm sorry. The trees, look, I'm a tree lover. I'm a tree lover, tree hugger. Sure, why not? But the ponies are going to run over some trees this weekend, okay, at Stanford. Auburn at Mizzou, -6.5 for the Missouri Tigers. They are coming off basically a bye week against UMass. Auburn is coming off of a bye week. Now, what did Auburn do in this bye week? Did they take some time and say, hey, Hugh Freeze, maybe we have a little bit more game management, okay? A little bit more game management. Or did they say, what we're doing is working, theoretically, we'll keep doing that, and we'll keep turning the ball over, and we'll keep sucking? I just have to believe they tried to make some changes, because if it was me, I would try to do something different, okay? That's just me. I'm not a head coach, but if I was, I would try something that, if nothing's working, I would try something else, okay? And that's what Auburn needs to do. Now, Missouri, the one team they have faced, Texas A&M Aggies, they have beaten Vanderbilt. They beat Vanderbilt. However, it was in overtime. However, Vanderbilt actually might be a pretty good football team. Auburn, though, coming into your building off a bye week. You're basically off of a bye week. Mentioned that as well. Luther Burden's the X factor in this football game. Okay, I think Auburn's going to try and play keep away. That's the only way they have a chance of winning. Now, their defense has been solid all year. Not going to blow you away, but it's not. But Missouri's offense isn't going to blow you away this year. Okay, it's been really, really disappointing from Brady Cook and company, except for against lesser competition. But Luther Burden's going to have a day here, ladies and gentlemen. But that's why the gut told me immediately. Auburn Tigers +6.5. Will they win? Probably not. But will they cover? Yeah, 6.5. I'll take Auburn. I'll take the Tigers. Kansas State -3 at West Virginia. Now, where was Kansas State a couple days ago? They were in Boulder, Colorado. Where was West Virginia? They were in West Virginia. Now, Kansas State, they played Colorado Buffaloes. West Virginia, they played Iowa State Cyclones. They kept it close for the most part in that football game. Then Iowa State pulled away late, which I said a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I said Iowa State, that's what they do. They keep it close, make everybody look like idiots, and then they pull away late and make everybody look like geniuses, okay? Kansas State, they're in Kansas, go to Colorado, not that far. Kansas, West Virginia, a little bit further, but that's 2 back-to-back road trips. All of this is baked into the gut. The gut already knows this subconsciously. Your gut has a subconscious, at least mine does. Kansas State -3 on the road at West Virginia. Back-to-back road trips for Kansas State. West Virginia, they're in what I would call must-win mode, and my gut felt that, so I got to take the West Virginia Mountaineers. Somehow, some way, I think the Mountaineers win this football game, and if they don't, I think they cover the 3 points. Give me the Mountaineers all day. All day. Gonna take a sip here before. This is a fun football game. Nebraska Cornhuskers at Indiana Hoosiers. Forgot to mention, this right here, this mug, on every site known to man. It's not on any sites, but it should be because it's that good. It's that quality mug. Quality mug. Anyways, Nebraska Cornhuskers at Indiana Hoosiers. Hoosiers. Look, Indiana 5-0, 6-0, whatever they are, they're undefeated. Nebraska, I believe Indiana 6-0, Nebraska 5-1 on the road, both coming off of bye weeks. Both do not have true freshman quarterbacks. That would be Nebraska Cornhuskers. Dylan Raiola, guy has been sensational. I think that's a word I would use. And some of you might say sensational. That might be too high of praise. It's not. For a true freshman, he's been sensational. He is really, really good. The only loss they have is at Illinois at home. Illinois is a really good football team. But I like Nebraska. I like what they got in Dylan Raiola. However, Indiana Hoosiers, -6.5 at home off of a bye week. Sig Nettie, their coach, he's going to have this crowd fired up, ready to play. It's going to be unreal. Okay, I'm not sure where I was in Indiana, Nebraska. I think I was talking about Kirk Signetti. He was going to have this crowd fired up. Give me Indiana Hoosiers to win this football game and to cover the 6.5. Now, we had a fire alarm go off in our house. I had to turn that thing off. It's right here. I'm not joking. This thing was beeping and buzzing and making all sorts of noise. I had to stop the video. Normally, I like to do these in one long video, one 25-minute video. I couldn't do that this time because this thing was beeping like crazy. I mean, it was loud. It took me forever to turn it off. I wasn't sure where the button was, but we got it covered. We got it under control, and Indiana's going to win and cover. Next one up, Texas A&M at Mississippi State. The show must go on. Both of these teams have similar colors. That shouldn't come into play. It's Texas A&M minus 15 all day, every day, off of a bye week. Mississippi State stinks. Give me Texas A&M minus 15. Oklahoma State at BYU minus 9 for the Cougars. Mormons. Oklahoma State coming off of a bye. This is a Friday night football game. BYU, they just had a Saturday football game against Arizona, and they blew the doors off of them. What are they going to do to Oklahoma State? They're going to blow the doors off the Oklahoma State Cowboys as well. Oklahoma State's not a very good football team, ladies and gentlemen. They were supposed to be a good football team. What they were supposed to be, BYU is a pretty good football team. Okay, give me BYU minus the 9 to cover this on a Friday night in Provo. Oklahoma State's got no chance. No chance in this one. Notre Dame minus 8.5 at the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Okay, if you followed the show for some time, and by some time I mean this year, Notre Dame's played 6 games now. 6 of those losses, of that 46 right here to my left, my arm may be cut off because of the frame, whatever. 6 of those losses this year have been on Notre Dame games. I'm 0 for 6, have not picked the Notre Dame game correctly this entire year. The first 4 weeks I said, look, I'm going to go with the gut, and the gut's it's gonna start coming around on Notre Dame. Okay, it's going to start coming around. We're going to start making some progress in these Notre Dame Fighting Irish games, and we haven't. So the last 2 weeks I said, you know what? The gut's going to tell me one thing. I'm going to do the opposite of what the gut has told me. And we're 0-2 in those as well. So I'm not sure what's going on with the Fighting Irish. But whatever it is, we just cannot, for whatever reason, figure out how to pick a Notre Dame game correctly. With all of that being said, the gut told me Notre Dame minus 8.5 at Georgia Tech. So if you like to do what I do and pick these football games, pick Georgia Tech, okay? Because that's probably correct. That's probably correct. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We have arrived to the main event. Well, co-main event. Alabama minus 2.5 at the Tennessee Volunteers, 2:30 kickoff. Got to take a sip. Look, this fire alarm has thrown. It's giving me a massive headache. This fire alarm. So these right here. Look, I'm not sure your home even needs one. To be honest with you, I'm not sure a fire alarm is needed. Anyways, we'll talk about Alabama, Tennessee now. Okay. What is going on in Tuscaloosa? What is going on in Tuscaloosa? Now, I'm not sure what's going on in Tuscaloosa, but the defense has been suspect at best. Ever since they went up 28-0 against Georgia, they've been outscored 1,000,000 to about 50. And 1,000,000 to 50 is not a good score to have if you're keeping track at home. 1,000,000 you want to be the 1,000,000. You don't want to be the 50. And lately, Alabama has been the 50. Somehow, they beat Georgia. Then they lost to Vanderbilt because of those demons in that closet, the skeletons in the closet, whatever you want to call them. They were there, and they showed themselves against Vanderbilt. And they almost showed themselves. Well, they were peeking out. They were peeking out that closet door against South Carolina last weekend. But then South Carolina decided to do a bunch of stupid stuff and kind of lose the football game on their own, which was in true South Carolina fashion. Things are spiraling in Tuscaloosa right now. Halfway through the Georgia football game, you thought this is the best team in the country. Nobody's taking them down. Then they almost squandered that one, almost let that one get away. Then the next weekend, they lose to Vanderbilt. Has never happened. Probably will never happen again. It might. And then they almost lose to South Carolina. What are we doing in Tuscaloosa? Kalen DeBoer, figure out your program. I'm trying to pick these games, and you're letting me down. You're letting me down. What's going on in Knoxville, though? Tennessee, we thought, hey, this is a top 5 football team. This is right here, the Volunteers, that's the top 5 football team. What have they done the past couple of weeks? Well, the past couple of weeks, they've lost to Arkansas. They've looked inept offensively. And then they had to beat Florida. Yes, Florida, the Gators, Billy Napier, he's still the head coach there. They had to beat the Florida Gators with a backup quarterback, DJ Lagway. Now, he did some nice things. Quick DJ Lagway segment. He's going to be really, really good. Back to Tennessee. You're struggling against some lesser opponents, and now you got Alabama, big Alabama coming into town. What happened last time they played Alabama? Well, it was a night game. They beat them, number one team in the country. Boom, vaulted up to number one. They threw the goalposts in the river. It was the greatest time ever to be a Tennessee fan. And now we're confused. We're confused. Is Nico too young? Is he making wrong decisions? Is he not pulling the trigger? Who knows? Who knows? Only Josh Heupel, only Nico, only the people in that building know. But it's on us to ask questions, ladies and gentlemen. It is our job to do so. A lot going on at both of these schools, respectively. Defensively for Alabama, offensively for Tennessee, a lot of question marks. And you know what's fun about that? Alabama's defense has to be on the same field as Tennessee's offense. So one of these two units is going to have the same questions coming into this game and leaving this game. One of those is going to happen. Okay, it's either going to be Tennessee's offense, question marks all over the place, or it's going to be Alabama's defense, question marks all over the place, and they're just going to have more of them, more of the same, or Tennessee's going to have more of the same. But one of those teams is going to figure it out, or maybe they both don't figure it out and they both lose the game. That could also happen. I would not bet on that happening. What I would bet on happening is one of these teams winning. Now, let's look at the numbers for Alabama, for Tennessee. Alabama, 41st scoring defense in the country. Not good. Not up to snuff for the Alabama Crimson Tide standard. 54th rush defense. Not good either. Not good either. Alabama, 62nd pass defense. Not good either. Just, I can't believe, excuse me, hiccup there. I can't believe I just read those numbers off. 40, 41, 54, 62. Those are Alabama's defense numbers. That's crazy. This is Alabama Crimson Tide. It's a new era. It's a new era under Kalen DeBoer. No longer under Nick Saban. You guys already know that. Flip over to Tennessee's defense. 4th in the country in scoring defense. 5th in the country in rush defense. 19th in the country in pass defense. Now, they have not really been tested. The best quarterback wide receiver duo they have faced is Florida last week, I would say. And it was a true freshman they were playing. Okay. But DJ Lagway, he exploited some things again on that Tennessee back end. There's some confusion in that secondary for the Tennessee Volunteers. And you know who they have to play this week? No, just Jalen Milroe and Ryan Williams. No big deal. We saw what they did to Georgia a couple weeks ago. No big deal. Jalen Milroe, Ryan Williams coming into town. Shouldn't be an issue, right? That shouldn't be an issue. I think that's where the game comes down to. Okay. That's where all the marbles are. I just told you, Alabama's defense has to play Tennessee's offense. I think that's just going to be question marks. Alabama's going to have some things answered, not a lot. Tennessee's definitely not going to have a lot answered. But those two units just aren't good right now. They're not good. And not good versus not good usually just means meh. Okay, we're going to get a meh matchup when you have Tennessee offense, Alabama defense. Now, flip it around. Tennessee's really good defense, Alabama's really good offense. That's where the game's going to be won. That's where it's going to be won. Alabama's receivers, specifically Ryan Williams, can he exploit this Tennessee secondary that has not been exploited all year, mainly because they haven't been tested? Can he do it? What does the gut say? The gut told me Ryan Williams is going to have a day, and he's gonna win this football game for Alabama. -2.5. I like the Crimson Tide. Now, would I want to go to this football game? Yes. Nobody's asking me that, and nobody's giving me tickets, but I would like to go. I would like to go. Virginia at Clemson. Taking a sip here. Look, just throwing this out there. I'm not going to throw it out there. I'm not going to jinx it. We're taking Clemson -21.5. Okay, now since I told you, I can now. It's after I already picked it. I can't jinx it. That's how this works. We're undefeated in Clemson games, by the way. So just take that to heart when you're picking Clemson this week. UCF at Iowa State. It's the Cyclones all day, every day. It may not look like it from the very beginning because they like to start off slow, but it will look like it by the end of the football game. Give me Iowa State -13. Next one up, LSU -3 at Arkansas. Yes, Arkansas beat Tennessee a couple weeks ago. The magic is gone, okay? Alabama -2.5 at Tennessee. We already talked about it. Not Utah, excuse me. I see a U, immediately think Utah. It's Miami, not even close to Utah, okay? -4 at Louisville. Gut told me Louisville, but then the gut told me Miami. This is a rare case where the gut has double dipped. I'm going Miami -4. I'm going Miami -4. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Georgia at Texas, -3.5 for the Longhorns. Gonna take a sip. If you're in Austin, Texas, if you live there, this is the weekend to be in Austin, Texas. There's all sorts of stuff going on. There's an F1 race down there. Would love to be there for that. I can't afford it. You have to be a billionaire to be in Austin this weekend. The ticket prices for everything, hotels, dorms, whatever. Yeah, ticket prices for dorms. They're off the charts, off the roof, wherever it might be. It's expensive in Austin, Texas this weekend. In all the eyes of college football world, Saturday night, they're going to be watching Quinn Ewers. They're going to be watching Carson Beck. They're going to be watching Kirby Smart, making sure he's not pushing any Texas football players like he did last weekend against Michael Van Buren in Mississippi State. He has since apologized. He said he didn't knowingly push Michael Van Buren. I don't believe that for 1 second. It was clear he was pushing the quarterback. I mean, it was clear as the day. Anyways, Georgia at Texas. Every single eyeball is going to be on their TV this Saturday night, and I don't blame them because this game is going to be phenomenal. Hopefully. Those are parentheses for those that do not keep up with the show. Look, it's a train wreck culturally at Georgia right now. Everything is falling apart, not on the field, but it's trending that way. You beat Mississippi State by 10 points. Mississippi State's not a very good football team. Newsflash. They're not a very good. They're 1-5. You beat them by 10. Not a good look if you're Georgia. Does that have to do with any of the off-field issues? I'm not sure, but how can you ignore that? How can you ignore that? You can't. You can't ignore it, okay? And I don't think they're ignoring it, but I'm not sure what you do. I'm not a head coach. It's Kirby Smart's job. But shoving other teams' football players, probably not a good look. Probably not a good look if you have to ask me. Now, Georgia's defense, they're struggling a little bit. Michael Van Buren, he's a true freshman. He put up 35 points against you. You know who's not a true freshman? And you know who can score a lot of points? That's Quinn Ewers. And if you don't like Quinn, sure, Arch Manning could do the same thing. But Quinn Ewers is their quarterback, and he's going to be able to put up some points against Georgia. Okay? Now, how many? I'm not sure. But he'll be able to score because Georgia defensively is not the team they used to be. Now, makes sense because they lost 3 of their starters from their secondary a year ago. Hard to replace that. Newsflash: hard to replace really good players in a year. It's hard to do that. It's hard to do that. Now, this is the best offense Texas have faced up until this point this year. Okay, it's not even close, not even remotely close. Who's the best? UTSA is probably the best offense they have faced this year, and they're in the 80s, I believe. Not good. Not good. Now, Texas defense, they have been dominant. I'm not saying that. Some people like to say that when I called Texas not elite, there's not an elite football team this year. There's not. Texas still has to prove that because they have to play a capable offense before I can call you elite. Okay? They can get there. They're not there yet because they haven't played an offense yet. Okay? They're playing one this weekend. If they perform well, I can give them that elite status, but they're not there yet. They could get there this weekend. In fact, the gut told me they will get there this weekend. Give me Texas minus the 3.5. Okay, I think this one comes down to similarly how Alabama, Tennessee is going to come down to Alabama's wide receivers against Tennessee's defensive backs. This one will come down to the same exact thing. Texas wide receivers against Georgia's defensive backs. That's a strength for Texas, kind of a weakness for Georgia this year. It's going to come down to that. How many plays can those wide receivers from Texas make, and how good will they be? I think they're going to be very good. I think we will call Texas elite after this weekend. And I still reserve to hold out. I still reserve the right to hold that out if they don't do it this weekend. But give me Texas minus 3.5. Next one up, Oregon minus 27.5 at Purdue. This one's easy. Purdue plus 27.5 all day, every day. That's it. Those are the picks this weekend. Hopefully, we bounce back from our first losing week last week, and we add to this 83. If we go 17-0, we'll be 100. We'll get to triple digits. That will be phenomenal. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment down below, subscribe, send to your brother, send to your mom, send to whoever, your dog, uncle, toddler. I don't care. Comment down below, subscribe. I love you guys. Bye.
Whoa, he has trouble with the snap, and the ball is free. It's picked up by Michigan State's Jalen Watts Jackson, and he scores on the last play of the game.
35, 40, 45, 50,